'Tis the season for all the themed spooky shirts. Hello and welcome to the BookTube channel, Jack and the Book Stack, where I talk about a wide variety of book genres and the bookish lifestyle. And it is officially spooky season. That time of year when all of BookTube across all genres band together in celebration of the dark, the spooky, the terrifying. And I am no different. I love a good theme. I mean, if you're new here, I'm just telling you, hi, I'm Jack, please subscribe, and I like themes. But if you're not new here, then you probably already know that. And so I have some great reads that I have planned for this month. And if you want more from spooky season, I'm going to link a playlist down below of my prior year's spooky content because it's so much fun and I love the themes. I talk about different horror tropes. I talk about my favorite horror books of all time. I have so much fun. So you can check out more of those videos down below if you want more. But right now, today in this video, we're talking about what I plan to read this month. I've mentioned in a prior video that I'm kind of taking a step back from reading vlogs because I have some other priorities going on in my life, and also I'm noticing that I'm actually losing subscribers on my vlogs and it makes me feel really bad. But I can't resist because spooky season, I feel inspired. I love making vlogs. I want to make them even if 2 people watch them because I really, really enjoy them. And I have an amazing idea for a spooky season reading vlog. And so this is what I'm so inspired. I'm so thrilled to make this. I want to do a cannibal themed reading vlog in October. It's so disturbing. It's so horrifying and I cannot wait. So the first book that I have on this list is Brother. This is a horror book, surprise, surprise, and it has cannibalism. So really, really looking forward to this one. It's been on my TBR for a while, even though I've read something else by Anya Alborn and I didn't love it. I loved it all up until the ending. So I'm gonna give this author another shot, but I think this is gonna fit the vibes. Kind of horrific, different kind of horror with the cannibalism aspect. I think this will be really interesting. The next cannibal book that I want to read is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is my Evernight special edition. Kind of fun. Really, really spooky. I gotta show you the cover, like the naked hardcover, because look at that. Oh, it's a vibe, right? It's a vibe. But this one, I think it's like I want to say it's a feminist horror about someone obsessed with eating eyeballs. So I think that fits. That fits with the cannibalism vibe. The next book I want to read for my cannibalism theme is my nonfiction pick for the month. I'm trying to read 1 nonfiction a month, and I chose Desperate Passages. I haven't heard anything about this, but I was thinking about a nonfiction, and I was like, The Donner Party. I would love to learn more about that. This is a true story about a group of people that became stranded and they had to resort to cannibalism to survive. So it's like a survivalist story in like an icy mountain setting. I think this story, I don't know too much about like the real events, so I'm excited to learn more, and it's so perfect it fits with the theme. Next up is a Kindle book that I am checking out through Libby, and it is called Certain Hunger. This is a feminist cannibalist story. This main character is a man-eater. Literally. I'm not sure if this is going to be a horror or more of a lit fic or maybe a literary horror, not quite sure, but from what I gather from Certain Hunger, it is a feminist spin. So I'm excited to check this one out and report back in that vlog I'm doing. Like many other bookworms, I add horror books to my TBR, but then I save them for this very particular time of year. And I was looking at my TBR shelf, which is right here. This is like the short list of books that I want to read. And I noticed I had 3 on the shelf from the same author. So I thought it could also be really fun to do a reading vlog, doing an author taste test. So that's what I'm going to do. And the author is Christina Henry. The first book being Horseman, which is A Tale of Sleepy Hollow. A Sleepy Hollow retelling sounds perfect this time of year. I have read the source material. I also adore the movie. It's so dark. I'm gonna have to watch it. Maybe like read this and watch it in that reading vlog. I think that could be really, really fun. So I'm excited to read this retelling by Christina Henry. And it seems like Christina Henry might be a fan of retellings because she also has Alice. Alice in Wonderland, in its source material form, is really creepy and weird. I remember as a kid watching the Disney adaptation, and I thought it was so scary. Like being trapped somewhere, being unable to get home as a kid was really scary, but like this has so much potential to make a truly awesome horror book. So I'm excited to see this take on Alice in Wonderland. I hope it's amazing. And then I think the book that Christina Henry is most well known for is Near the Bone. And when I hauled this, I got a lot of comments on my video that people read this and loved it. And it's really, really scary. And it has an isolated cabin setting, which I really, really like. It's like my favorite horror setting. And I think this will be a good one to read. I think it also has like, it has like a monster horror element, but I think it has like a real life horror element of like an abusive marriage. So that will be interesting to check out. So that's what I have planned for my Christina Henry taste test. I was talking to my BookTube buddy, Katrina Brown, and I asked her what her favorite book of all time was. And ever since then, I have been dying to pick up this book. But again, I have to like put it aside and wait for spooky season. But the time has finally arrived. And the book is Black Water by Michael McDowell, who interestingly enough, I think he wrote the screenplay or like the source material for Beetlejuice. So, I mean, right on theme. I want to read this family saga horror so bad. This is the hardcover bind up of the 6 books. So I tab them so I can break it up and just read it throughout the month of October to stay on track, hopefully finish it. I'm not vlogging it, or I'm not planning to, at least, but I have heard stellar things about this book. Mike's book reviews also read it and really, really enjoyed it. I think he was trying to do like 1 story a month or something, but he got so engrossed in the story that he had to just power through and finish it. And I think he really enjoyed it as well. So I am really looking forward to checking this one out. I think it's going to be a slow burn horror because it spans over decades, over generations, and it is set in Alabama. So I think it's going to have like southern vibes, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next read is super ambitious of me to put on this October TBR because it's an entire series. And I may finish it, I may not. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. Right now I don't have any plans for like a dedicated reading vlog or anything. So really you'll just find out in the October monthly reading wrap up if I finish them and what I thought. But the books are the All Souls Trilogy. And I put that in air quotes because it says All Souls Trilogy on the spine, but it's actually 5 books. The 5th book was just recently released. I do have it available on Libby for audiobook, so I can read this whole series. I like to read series close together because if I space them out, I tend to forget a lot of the details and the series loses its impact. So I do want to read them close together. And this is a story about witches. I mean, no spoiler there. The first book is called A Discovery of Witches. And I think it has vampires as well. It does have like an academic vibe too, because I think a lot of it takes place in like a library, or at least it starts out that way, and there's like research, which I love. I love like research and studying in books. I love bookworms. So I am looking forward to that. I think this series is more like a fantasy series, and I think this could really break up all the horror that I'm reading. So that's why I put it on this TBR, and I mean, witches and vampires, it fits the theme, come on. Is it even spooky season if you don't read Stephen King? I mean, that kind of defines the season for me. So I do have 2 Stephen King picks. The first one is Gerald's Game. I'm really apprehensive about this one because it is about a couple that goes to a secluded, isolated cabin, which I said I love that setting, and they decide to get a little frisky, and so he handcuffs her to the bed, but then he dies, like he has a heart attack and dies, and so she's handcuffed to the bed, and nobody can hear her scream, which is funny and scary in itself, but I think there's someone out there, and I'm not sure if it's monster or human, but it makes me think that this might be a home invasion story. And don't spoil it. Don't tell me if it is or not. But home invasion is the horror trope I like the least because it is the most terrifying to me because it's so realistic, and I lived alone for so many years that like that idea, that was already my greatest fear. So reading about it was not enjoyable to me, but I've matured. I no longer live alone. I have vicious dogs that will protect me. Tinsley, stop. Stop. And there goes the other one. No, lay down. So I want to give Gerald's game a try. So, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm going to be super scared. The other Stephen King I chose purely because it's the shortest one that I have, and that one is Rita Haworth and Shawshank Redemption, and it is just this little itty bitty thing. Ain't she cute? And I love the movie. I love Shawshank Redemption, and so reading it I thought would be great. This is actually like part of, it's a short story. It's from like one of his larger compilations, but I'm like, hey, I could just read the one or the two that I want to read. So I might squeeze that in this month. But we're kind of like going in order of like the lower priority books. These next books are also low priority, just if I feel like it. No pressure. I mean, there's never any pressure, but these are even less pressure. I got the What Feeds at Night by T. Kingfisher. This is the follow-up to What Moves the Dead, which is an Edgar Allan Poe retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. So I recently got this, and I just thought it'd be neat to get up to speed, up to date on this duet. I'm not sure if there's gonna be more books in this series, but this is the sequel, the follow-up to it, so I thought it'd be nice to get up to date. I love T. Kingfisher. Similar vibes. This wouldn't bring me up to date in the series because I think there's 3 books out. This is only book 2, but it's Clown in the Cornfield. Frienzo? Is that what it's? Friendo Lives. I read book 1, Clown in a Cornfield, last year, and I was shocked how much I could enjoy a YA slasher. I really liked that. I don't know if it's because it like tones it down a little bit. Like, people still die, it's still a slasher, but I think it's a little bit lighter, and I don't know, it just really worked for me. I had a really good time with it, and clowns are always kind of creepy. So reading the sequel I thought would be a good time. I mean, I'm looking forward to all of these. I get so excited about a theme. Finally, probably maybe on the lower priority, I just had another horror book on the shelf and I pulled it as an option. Pinata. I know nothing. I know nothing about this book other than it's a horror. And I really adore this cover because this cover is really scary in itself. It was supposed to be the perfect summer. Ooh, I think it takes place in Mexico. She's back in Mexico supervising the renovation of an ancient abbey. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go into this blind with horror. Going into it blind is the best way, you know, keep the expectations low. Those are the books on my October TBR. I am so excited for this list, mostly because these are books that I have been holding on to for months, waiting for the perfect vibe. I mean, you can read horror books all year long. Typically, I do. Like, a good portion of the reads I have up to this point are horror, but I love to really dive into this theme, and I think I'm most excited about the cannibalism theme, but I'm also really excited about Blackwater since it has been on like the top tier favorites list of so many of my favorite booktubers. So really, really looking forward to this month. What are you the most excited to read this October? Are you participating in spooky season? What are you excited to read? Please drop it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. Happy spooky season. I'll see you next time.